Hey, today I'm gonna show you how to make kimchi mandu. And since it's a season, I made it a little festive by using green dumpling wrappers so that the inside red filling would match some holiday color. I'm super excited to share this recipe with you guys because I've been really enjoying these dumplings the past few weeks. And once you make a lot of it, it'll be so worth it. Okay, are we ready? We're gonna chop up some cabbage. And you can really mince them by hand if you want, but I use a food processor. Some people say chopping it by hand kind of makes irregularities, that makes the texture a little better, but honestly, mincing this much cabbage is not really worth it for me. But I chopped up my chives by hand so that I get these little pieces, and then we're gonna take out a good amount of kimchi. I ended up using 1 full cup of minced kimchi like this, and chop it up. And now we have our firm tofu. We're gonna put it in a bowl and mash it with a spatula. Be careful not to mash it too much so that it becomes creamy, but we want kind of a minced consistency, so it's grainy. So we're going to wring out the water from this tofu. And we're going to cook our vermicelli noodles. Some recipes call for soaking the noodles for 30 minutes, but boiling it for 8 minutes does the trick. Now we have our scallions. I used about 4 to 5 roots and mince it into small pieces like this. Now that the vermicelli noodles are cooked, we're going to strain it and wash it with cold water. This is very important so that the noodles don't cook any further. And we're going to also mince it with a knife until we get all these small pieces. And now the yangnyeom, or the seasoning. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of gochugaru, red chili flakes, and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, another tablespoon of sesame oil, half a tablespoon of sugar, and half a tablespoon of oyster sauce. Mix it well until we get a pasty consistency. Now, make sure you wring out the water from the cabbage as well. Add it to a bowl and add our tofu, vermicelli noodles, our minced kimchi, our scallions, and notice I didn't put the chives in yet. We're going to add the chives last and put in our yangnyeom, our seasoning. And with gloved hands, we're going to gently mix the mandu filling. We definitely want to mix this gently so that everything is evenly mixed, but we don't mash the tofu into a creamy consistency. I'm going to add all of the yangnyeom so we get a nice and red color inside, and don't forget to season it with salt and pepper. And lastly, don't forget to taste a little bit so that it's seasoned to your liking. And then we're going to add the chives. The reason we're adding the chives last is because these guys are sensitive. So if you mix it too much, they're going to bruise. And bruised chive give off like a weird aroma to the mixing that we don't want. So add the chives, and I just kind of stirred it with chopsticks so that they're evenly mixed in. And there we have our mandu filling. This is so good. It's gonna smell really good while you're making the dumpling, so try not to eat it by the spoonfuls. So I found some green dumpling wrappers at H Mart, so I had to pick it up so that I can make my Christmas dumplings. And I'm not the best dumpling maker, so this is how I started off. Basically, put maybe 2 teaspoons of the filling inside, pinch the middle, and then I tried the folding method where you kind of put it into a circular shape, but that didn't work out so well. So this method seemed to yield the prettiest dumplings, where you kind of fold both sides and you pinch it as you go. So you start from one side, and then as you move forward, you're pinching both sides and pressing them down so the dumplings are closed. So I did this for a little bit and realized this is taking so long and I want to know an easier way to make dumplings. So I went on YouTube and learned the ultimate easiest way to fold dumplings, and this is how. So the key to making dumplings with this small dumpling wrapper is trying not to put in too much fillings, or it's going to make your life really hard. So once you put in the filling, pinch the middle really hard, and with your thumb and index finger, just gently fold the dumpling wrapper and purse it. Doesn't matter how they come together, but they will come together once you do this. And the other side, the same thing, purse it so that some of the dumpling wrapper is overlapped, and you can kind of pinch it together like this. And we have our easy peasy dumpling. So the rest of the dumplings, I made it this way and it was so much faster. If you guys were on Instagram Live with me, I was definitely making all of these as I was filming in the time lapse here. So you pinch it and then purse both sides and press the overlapping sides together. I know it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun if you do it with family or friends, and you end up with a bunch of dumplings. I like to freeze them in a Ziploc bag, and then the next morning you can put it in a steamer like this, and I steam it for about 11 to 12 minutes, but it really depends on how your steamer or your stove is. So once they start boiling, I steam it for 12 minutes, and you know it's done when your dumpling wrappers become transparent like this. So before they cool down and they get stuck to the steamer, I like to kind of separate them while they're warm. You can also use a liner, I just didn't have any. If you go to H Mart, you should be easily able to find liner papers that are circular. So for the dip, I have soy sauce, some vinegar, and chili powder. And there you have it, your delicious kimchi mandu for the season. And you can make it vegetarian or vegan by using vegetarian or vegan kimchi. You can steam it, you can fry it. The really good fried recipe is on my Instagram. Let me know if you want it on YouTube as well. And hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or any reviews of the recipe if you tried it, let me know in the comments.